Erica Jones with the Art of Transition podcast. I got my special guest here, Mr. Maurice Sims. Why don't you tell the people who you are? What you got going on here?
Just a kid from Selma, Alabama, repping the other A and the A.
Alabama, that is.
Doing all the comedy shows around Atlanta. Bring the funny to Atlanta every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at various venues around the city.
Man, I just really appreciate your time. I appreciate you like having events like this. As a physician, I can truly say that laughter is medicine. And I know you sent me a podcast that Joel Osteen had actually done, and he talked about laughter being medicine and what you're providing for the community, what you're bringing into these spaces, the type of energy. It's just one of those things that it's priceless, man. Like, how did you get into promoting comedy versus any other type of entertainment?
Well, I was a general manager at U-Haul, and I really hated my shitty job. So I went home for Christmas, and I was in the back of the Elks Lodge one day at a party. And at the club, I prayed in the club, and I asked God, what am I supposed to be doing with my life?
You prayed to God in the back of the club.
Just like that. And the next morning when I woke up, the first thing that was in my brain was become a comedy show promoter. Just like that.
Wow. So there's one thing to get a message from God, and then there's a totally different thing that you actually listen to the message that you got from God. Like, how does that actually work? Like, 'cause I mean, I'm sure you have like a bunch of different thoughts and a bunch of different things that are going through your head at any given time.
Well, I didn't know it was a message from God at the time. I just knew that I like comedy. I wrote a little comedy, but I had a fear of the stage. And I would smoke weed and write jokes, and smoke weed and write jokes, and then listen to the jokes 3 to 6 months later. And I wasn't good at it at all. So I kind of gave up on it, and then the vision for becoming a comedy show came to me years later.
So when you got that vision, what type of resources did you use to like make that transition? What type of like thought process did you have to be into so that you could actually understand that this is not just like a vision, this is something I need to execute. This vision is going to turn into providing a platform for comics. This vision is going to turn into providing jobs for people. This vision is going to turn into bringing business to different venues.
I didn't.
You didn't know?
No one teaches you how to become a comedy show promoter. There was no manual. There was no mentor. All I did was I would find out where the comedy shows were at every night, and I would go watch the comedy shows every night for 2 years.
Yeah.
I learned what I wouldn't do watching somebody else's comedy show.
Got it.
Along the way...
So you did your research?
Somewhat. Along the way, I would go to the comedy shows and see who I liked and collect their phone numbers or network.
Okay.
And when I was ready to launch, now I have my resources on my phone on who to call, who is funny, because I've already seen it.
Now, I've been coming to your comedy shows for a very, very long time. I remember you used to have like a tablet, and I just used to see you going from table to table to table. Hey man, put your email address in, hey man, put your email. I remember that. Like, I saw you putting in the work. I saw you putting in the sweat.
Your money and everything. You take your whole pride and you want the same. I done got to the point that I don't even mix alcohol and marijuana no more. I don't do it to that age. I used to do it when I was in my 20s. I just turned 41 last Tuesday. Yeah, 41. God is good, man. Take it.
So you can just take a few seconds to speak to the power of an email list, the power of like building your contacts.
Well, I knew that if you came to the show and I liked you and I got your email address, you would bring 2, 3, or 4 other patrons to the comedy show. And when you brought them, I got their email address, and they would bring 2, 3, 4 new patrons to the comedy show. And then they would come, and it would just get bigger and bigger. 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 6, 6 turns to 8, 8 turns to 10, to 25 to 100, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as long as you start doing more comedy shows, you're meeting new clients, and then ultimately when the internet really blew up, it made things a tad bit easier. But I just would, having someone's email address is like having a key to their house.
Say that again.
They're not going anywhere.
Say that again.
Especially if you own a home. So if you have somebody's email address, my email address has been Maurice L. Sims at Yahoo since 1995, I believe.
Wow.
Yahoo. No one even uses Yahoo.
Right.
But I never changed my email address.
Man, I still remember my Yahoo email address, but I never use it anymore.
But I also have Maurice L. Sims at Gmail.
Right, exactly.
Maurice L. Sims at iCloud. It's my name. I want to be found.
Got it. So when you see events that are going on in Atlanta and people see the ATL Comedy Jam, that's this guy right here. A lot of the comedy that's happening in Atlanta is because of this guy right here, Mr. Maurice Sims. And when I tell you, like, who gets tired of laughing? I don't.
Can't go wrong with laughing.
Like, laughter has truly been proven to really just boost your mood, boost your immune system. So all the comics that are out there that are really putting in the work behind these jokes, they're really putting in the work to get the perfect formula, to get that laugh up out of you, to get that energy up out of you. That takes a lot of work. So, I mean, I just commend the comics. I commend you for just providing these type of events for people. A lot of times, you know, people are looking for things to do. Even when you're not doing, you know, comedy shows, you're managing to keep yourself busy, to continue to, like, build who you are, to build your brain. What are some of the things that you feel like you use in terms of resources to help you transition into your vision?
Well, I kept recreating the brand. So if you didn't like ATL Comedy Jam, I got you Atlanta House of Comedy. If you didn't like that, I got you with Laugh Atlanta. If you didn't like that, I got you with the Atlanta Comedy Festival or the Georgia Comedy Festival. So anything in comedy you see on the internet, it may be listed 14 to 20 different times in different ways, but guess what? It's all me.
So the moral of that story is, don't be afraid to transition into another brand or rebrand yourself. Go a different way. Try something different.
It's kind of like, you know, when Madonna and Janet Jackson would come out back in the 80s and 90s. Well, every 2 years they had blonde hair, green hair, a new style or something like that. Still the same artist, still the same great music.
Yeah.
Just a different CD name, different music. And that's what my comedy shows are. I just have various brands, different domain names, and I try to recreate it every year, pretty much.
And just for a second, speak to the biggest name that you've had come through.
The biggest name,
'Cause I've seen a lot of comics just being around your events, just coming to your events.
Chris Tucker is probably the biggest.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Chris Tucker came through here, and we're at Cat's Cafe, by the way, 970 Piedmont Road, each and every Tuesday for 14 years. So make sure you come to Cat's Cafe every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock for the best damn comedy show, period. But as far as some of the names other than Chris Tucker that actually come in here, Hannibal Buress, Sherry Shepherd, Dion Cole has come here but hadn't performed.
Nice.
Oh my God.
I think I was here that night Chris Tucker performed. I was like, oh my gosh. I fanned out.
And then there's a lot of people that I didn't know who they were until they left, and I apologize for not having those names.
No worries.
But you know, Cat's Cafe attracts a diverse, an array of different types of comedians: blacks, whites, Asians, Latino, Mexican, people from the UK, the European Union. Everybody comes here to get their stage time. when they're visiting to Atlanta. So there's just so many people. Gina, the lady from England, Gina Rashir. There's so many people over the years, and a lot of times they came and I didn't realize who they were until they were famous.
Oh, wow.
The guy from South Africa that has the
Trevor
show.
Noah.
Trevor Noah.
He was here?
Yeah, he came here.
Wow.
So and I want to say that had to be at least 11 years ago.
Wow. You've been doing this for 14 years. Wow. Now let me clap for you. Let me clap for you, good sir.
Hey, it went by so fast because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
When you do something you love, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't even seem like we've been here a decade plus.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you're doing here in these space. I appreciate what you're doing for Atlanta, man. When I tell you, just providing a safe space and an environment to enjoy yourself, to laugh, and to get your spirits uplifted, that is very valuable. So I just want to clap for you, just express my gratitude for all the years that you've been doing this, and keep going strong, brother.
We ain't going nowhere.
Keep going strong. Thank you so much.
Got a transition.
Let people know how to find you. If they want to find you, they want to get in touch with you.
Catch us on Instagram. That phone sucked, doesn't it?
We live,
on Instagram, LaughATL, at LaughATL, at ATL Comedy Shows, and at ATL House of Comedy. Log on to the site, www.atlhouseofcomedy.com. www.atlhouseofcomedy.com. And that is a wrap.